of gymnastics, Russia means gold. In the qualifying of the men, Alexei Nemov led his team to where they believe they belong. The Chinese men have had enough of second place. This time, they conquered the nemesis of 1996 on the high bar. But then it was uh-oh on the vault. This team feels the heat. The United States endured a mess of almost eliminating proportion, and Blaine Wilson's leadership was missing. They saw the drive of a teenager from the heartland. 17-year-old Paul Hamm started it. And the 5-time national champion finished it. A comeback involving all that put the United States in tonight's team final. The 6 teams that survived for the men's qualification move into the Superdome for the men's team final. The United States and everyone else erases the scores that were established there. The best man in the gym is probably that man, Alexei Nemov of Russia. Meanwhile, the Chinese team certainly wants to put everything behind them from the men's qualification. Their coaches have talked about softening the load of the pressure that the nation, that these gymnasts have placed on themselves. And Tim Daggett and Elfie Schlegel, the United States simply needs Blaine Wilson to be better than he was.
Way better. This guy, 5-time national champion, has been the heart, the soul of this USA team.
Meanwhile, 3 Olympics and a career filled with bouncing and jumping in gyms all over the world will conclude tonight for John Roethlisberger. However, if you were with us on night 1 of the competition, you saw him painfully dislocate his finger and then pop it back into place. Somehow he's going to go for it. The Chinese team comes into this Olympic Games with a long list of failures and baggage, as you would call it, Tim, of epic proportions. And then the Russians.
Yes, and their top guy, Alexei Nemov, who this morning admitted being very tired after the first day of team competition, but he said, hey, this is the Olympic Games. He's been here before. This is the guy that can deliver the big scores.
Surprises? Absolutely. The United States has had a couple of them. In fact, over the past year, the twins from Waukesha, Wisconsin, Paul and Morgan Hamm. Now, Paul was the one who sort of blossomed first, and Morgan was the one who snuck onto this team in the Olympic trials to the joy of his family. Now, here he is, setting the tone for the American team.
And scored the highest score for this team on this exercise in the first day of team competition.
Qualified into individual event finals here because he can do things almost perfect. Not, unbelievable. That is a gigantic mistake. He loses about 4/10 in bonus because he has to leave a skill out, but he also puts his hands down.
So the early pressure falls on the United States.
Got a very strong last half of this routine. But Coach Peter Corman and this team is hoping one thing. Even if he sticks this dismount, it's a moot point because they don't want to take this score. It's a miss.
But stick it he does. You know, the United States has been leaning on Paul and Morgan Hamm. We've talked about their age. We've talked about their lack of international experience. It's really only a matter of time, if you're honest about it, where they do make a mistake like that.
On this tumbling run, as as we've said, so many problems, complaints about the floor. They just can't seem to get the bounce down. He's supposed to do another element immediately following that. Really uncharacteristic for Morgan.
And it's been said the floor is slippery too, so Morgan Hahn puts up an 8.787. We go to the Chinese team. Now, this is the defending world championship team, only it doesn't feel like that. You see, this group is all about Olympic gold. Jing Aowei has one of the most engaging smiles you've ever seen. Like most of his teammates, he's been away from home since he was 12 years old, started in gymnastics when he was 5.
And the Chinese, they always come to this competition the favorites, and they should dominate because of skills like that. It's not because they can't do the gymnastics. They can do it and more. It's just at critical times, they seem to falter.
The Chinese have never won Olympic gold.
Young star on this team. Oh, his brace falls down. But that's what you like to see as a coach. Even if it's a small little thing, you got to deal with every one of these potential nightmares. Don't let it happen.
Angry. That's what Blaine Wilson is after his qualifying night of competition. Peter Corman said that's the emotion to describe this guy right now.
And Peter Corman also said that he's not worried about Blaine. Tonight he said he is in the right frame of mind. He believes he will deliver for the team.
And I have yet to see him make this mount and stay in the area while in and once again those heels go over the white line. Loses a 1/10 of a point for the hop, and then another 10th.
And those 10ths add up in team competition.
Why these problems? Is it the same reason we said before with Hahn?
Well, actually, this is a little bit different. Because it's harder, he has to go a little bit stronger, run faster, and what that does is it makes each move a little bit longer, and he finds himself right near the edge and has to hop back over the line. We'll probably see it all night long. It's been happening throughout the competition, both men and women. It's a good routine besides that first pass. Dismount, full twisting double. Well, the hop back on the landing. It's going to bring in a good score, but Blaine can do better.
The United States knew they had to be way better if they wanted to think about a medal. And already, right in the first rotation, they're thinking about coming back, not just holding their own. They're thinking about coming back. China thinking gold. 9-7 for Jing Aowei.
And if this team wants a team gold, all they need to do are routines like that. They got the goods.
So Blaine Wilson puts a 9.45 on the United States side of the ledger. Still to come, Alexei Nemov and the powerful Russians. Gold medalists in Atlanta in 1996. And already, guys, they're sensing the presence that the Chinese not only came here with a mission, but with the actions to back up the words. Here's Alexei Bondarenko, and there's Leonid Arkayev, the coach of both the men and the women. And I think when you talk about how does he have to coach the men, and he looks at a guy like Bondarenko, he'll say he takes a little bit more time than some of the other guys.
Actually, through the translation, I think it comes through as high maintenance. Arkayev told me that one of Bondarenko's biggest problems is he hides his emotions.
And this guy has faltered at critical times for the Russian team.
And right there, from the get-go, not a huge problem, but coming that close on a release, that means that he's playing it a little safe. And
oh, wow, again
safe. That right there, another deduction, casting up and not going over the top. This routine is on the verge of deer in the headlights, and
oh boy,
just got hit by the car right there.
Now wait a minute, yesterday in the gym, 20 straight he'd reel off, right?
It's unbelievable. He is one of those guys that in training you just go magnificent,
but can't deliver under pressure.
You got to remember, this sets the tone, too. He's not one of those lower-ranked guys. He's right behind Nemov. If they want to challenge for the gold medal, no question about it, they can't do it with Nemov alone. They need guys like Bondarenko, beautiful pike Kovacs, but what he does is to make sure he grabs the bar. He lets go a little bit too early just to be safe, and when he does that, he gets a score like that, 8-7.
So the Russians are going to have to lean on their rock, and every team has one, right? I mean, the United States has Blaine Wilson. The Russians have Alexei Nemov. As he trained with his team in Adelaide, Australia in the weeks prior to the games, he knew that his wife Galina remained home in Moscow. Gymnastics coaches since he was small. Alexei looks for a different life. He and Galina met at the Russian Round Lake Training Center. And so it's gymnastics, love, birth, gold, and diapers. After the games, Alexei will meet the Alexei he's never seen. So let's think about this. One day, Alexei will grow up, right? And Dad will have to explain how he wasn't there for the birth of his son, and that was why, Dad? Well, I was training for the Olympic Games in Adelaide with my teammates. Really? And how did you do? Well, Alexei is about to figure out what the answer to that story is.
If I had to guess, I'd say absolutely perfectly. As beautiful as you, Alexei. Arkayev has said he is the heart, the soul, the absolute leader of this Russian team. You got to have one to threaten the Chinese. He's their man.
All right, now, if Alexei Nemov should be allowed anything, it's a baby step. Right?
There's a reason why this guy is the anchor of this team. Bondarenko makes mistakes, but he doesn't feel the pressure following him.
And you notice he was one of the first people that Nemov went over to say, hey, we need you too. I can't do it all by myself, although I can do pretty darn good. Beautiful release skills, incredible form, and it's just the mark of a champion. You know, you got to take the risk. This stuff is right on the edge of missing, but that's what it takes to bring in a score like that.
A big score, and he could have done that anywhere in the Superdome on any of the 6 apparatus. And so everybody moves on. And for the United States, the next destination is the pommel horse. That brings back some bad memories.
From the Americans back to a Russian story, Alexei Nemov, who you just saw, maybe the most...
At the Superdome, we're trying to determine which team is the deepest, and right now it is the Chinese over Ukraine, Japan, and you think the Ukraine guys are happy that Russia is out of the medal mix right now? Then it's Romania and the United States. The U.S. by 0.8 of a point out of the medal picture right now, so already they counted a low score, Tim and Elfie, and that's a problem. It's not the way you want to get started.
They are the only team on the floor that counted a miss in rotation 1. They cannot do that.
Morgan had a miss on floor exercise, and he leads things off. This hasn't traditionally been a stable event for him.
And already his legs are coming apart. This looks to be a little bit of nerves. Hanging on to that pommel horse with everything in his body, but opening up the door for a lot of deductions. Got it back on track towards the end.
American coach Peter Corman, when asked about the Hom twins, Paul and Morgan, said, you know, they still think they're at the Wisconsin State Fair, and I'm going to let them think that. However, you know, sooner or later, the reality of the Olympic Games has to kick in. And with that thought, we move to the Chinese, who stand before the apparatus that destroyed their gold medal in Atlanta, the high bar.
And there is no way that this team could have, should have, in any way lost that medal in 1996, but they did, and they did it because of high bar, There was fall after fall, mistake and miss after miss.
Yeah, it was really ugly.
The Chinese went back and they changed their strategy, took out all those wacko sounding names like Kovacs and full twisting Kovacs, put in easier moves and only do one of them.
But do them well.
So China keeps it simple. Nothing wild, just solid.
Only one release, a laid out Jaeger. And on that move, the thing that's good about it, you can come in a little close and it's not going to bring you a big deduction.
Even though that's a simple dismount by Chinese standards, he stuck it.
Xing Aowei, wow, 9.737 for what looked like simple. Nothing simple for the United States right now. Morgan Hamm puts a 9.125 on the scoreboard here in Sydney. Now, if there is a mythical throne in the sport of gymnastics, the name Sukahara sits there. How many times, Tim and Elfie, do you think that you have spoken the name Sukahara? And now, from Japan, Naoya Sukahara, the son of Mitsuo.
He doesn't even have the courtesy to do his father's vault. This is a big one, though. 10-0 start value.
Now, those little hops, they were big when Dad was a competitor. They're big now when Son is a competitor. The Japanese were in third place, the last medal position, obviously, with a slim lead over Russia after the first rotation.
But as Tim mentioned, the hops on the landing are extremely valuable in team competition. He's given away already a couple right there.
But a super difficult element performed. Still, it's going to get a good score.
Yes, it does. 9.662. For the United States, John Roethlisberger sits and waits his turn on the pommel horse. What a mess that was in '96. I don't think Xing Aowei's mom was trying to reject the gift at all. I think she was simply trying to reinforce and remind her son that for all that both of them have given up, that was the little reminder of what was on the line. Not that he needed any more to be pushed, but it's a little extra nudge.
The biggest gift he's giving his mom today are the routines and the scores.
Bronze medalist from last year's World Championships.
He has delivered for Team China today. Trickiest part of the routine right here.
Chinese did not train this morning, all part of trying to take the pressure off this young team, and it seems to be working.
And that included allowing the entire team to play video games, which they love doing in the Athletes Village.
Which is amazing because these guys are always in the gym. One more very long piece of gymnastics in this routine. A little bit unusual. Dismounts with one of these rebounding passes. Just like all day long for Team China, another one closer to that gold medal.
These Olympic Games are about Xing Aowei and his relationship with his mom and all those kids. And right now, one step at a time, they are collectively feeling good about themselves. For exercise performance of Xing Aowei. Meanwhile, the Russians, they need something to take them in a better direction. They need Alexei Bondarenko to be as good as he can be, plain and simple.
Well, Alexei said that he has admired Alexei Nemov for his strong mind in competition, and he needs a little of that magic to rub off right now. He's not been great.
But his coach Arkayev says that that is not where he shines. He tires quickly, mentally, and when you've done two events and they've both not been great, it's a real bad sign for this guy. But please know, this is a simple exercise for him. His body almost like a feather on this event. Oh, unbelievable. Unbelievable. If you had gone up to this young man and told him a week and a half before the games began that you would fall off on a back more up, potentially taking Russia out of the medal hunt, he'd say impossible. Just happened.
A grumble from Leonid Arkayev, who is also the head coach of the women's team. Talk about hours in the gym. So that won't help out Russia. After 2 rotations, out of the medals, unthinkable, behind even Ukraine. Now Li Xiaopeng.
The floor exercise has been a problem for many athletes at these games, but it is not a problem for this guy. 4 big tumbling passes in this routine.
And it's not a problem for the entire team. 4 of the 5 of their guys on floor. Mount was something that if you had told me at the beginning of my career I'd have to do this, I'd have said, how about soccer, Tim? Yikes. Unbelievable how polished, how much power they can generate on a floor that everybody says doesn't bounce. Well, it does for them.
These are Australian-made apparatus. Chinese imported one so that they could practice on it in Beijing to prepare.
For the mere mortal man, it wouldn't matter how much time you spent on this floor. It'd be hard as a rock. Oh, no! All of those tricky combination tumbling runs done nearly flawlessly.
Big dismount. Double layout.
Big time. One more.
They show no sign of letting up. Sometimes you demand something like a gold medal and all it does is completely destroy what you want. Not so with this team. A very bad moment for Alexei Bondarenko. He's dealing with a 9.15.
And that's Arkayev just pulling on his gym shirt there. I think if the cameras weren't on, he'd be bapping his head back and forth going, Alexei, Alexei, this isn't you. Where are you? Where are you today?
Yeah, he's telling him, wake up.
Meanwhile, the Soviet Union broke up in 1991. All the satellite nations that were reborn then, like Ukraine, know that Russia is still the mothership. A victory over Russia is about as big as they can get it if they can't beat the world. Here's Alexander Beresh of Ukraine, the reigning European champion.
This guy is the rock for the Ukrainian team. He plays the same role as Alexei Nemov does for Russia. He's the leader.
Watch this skill right here. Most difficult in the world and the most perfect. A lot of people doing these skills now, but nobody does them better than Beresh.
Scored as high as Alexei Nemov did on this apparatus in the team competition on day 1.
In a little bit here, we'll certainly see him challenging for gold in the individual event finals.
Oh, and he sticks it. And everything is so close in the top 5 right now. China up by 3/10 over Japan, up by 3/10 over Ukraine, up by 3/10 over Russia, up by 3/10 over Romania.
And this Ukrainian team, with their coach, former world champion, he knows how to get it done, Igor Korobchinski.
So nothing will change. Big number after big number for the Chinese. They'll hold on to the top spot. Ukraine sliding in front of Japan with a huge 9-7, 8-7 performance on the horizontal bar from their leader, Alexander Beresh. The problems continue for Russia. Not only are they trailing Ukraine now, but even the Romanians, not considered to be a force in men's gymnastics at all, are in front of them. The good thing for this team is that we are only at halftime, but you can see it in their body language, read it in their faces. This team is embarrassed and desperately want to change their status in the men's team final at these Olympic Games. Loses to Ukraine or loses to Romania, that's what this Russian team, coached by Leonid Arkayev, is facing right now. This is a team that has always won a medal in the Olympic Games. If they ended right now, they would not. The United States remaining in last place. We go back to them now in the story of Steve McCain. Just missed being in the Olympics in 1996. Rededicated himself, grew up, all that stuff. Here he is, but he's got a major problem. He's got one really bad ankle and one bad ankle.
And the first day of competition, he did a very easy vault, not that pounding on the body. They don't have the luxury to hold back today. Oh, landing short when you do that facing the horse. That hurts.
And remember, he competed for the U.S. on day one of the competition on both floor and vault. Wasn't expected to. Said his ankles were killing him the next day.
Yeah, this is bad. Wow. They cannot afford to lose Steve McCain at this point.
Oh, the pain for this team started in the very first rotation when they knew it would take a huge comeback. Mom Pat knows how much Steve has put into this Olympic return after just missing. And you can see that the teammates sort of scatter. I mean, the karma, everything that's going on now with the United States is not good.
And this fall is basically the same one that hurt the ankles. You land short, facing the horse. It's just like crunch. Everything pounds together.
And that hurts.
And you got swelling in that joint on top of it. It's like slamming a 2x4 in the hinge of a door.
Just take care of your bones. Hey, come on, let's hold our feet. How does it feel? It's okay, it's just that you walk it off, and you're going to be able to do big work. Absolutely.
There's a lot of tough right there. Can you do P-bars? Absolutely. And you guys go on and don't worry about me. McCain 9.050. Here's Paul Hamm. Morgan and Paul, the twin stars, born of swinging in the barn out back in Waukesha.
And this guy got the party started in day one, the qualifying meet, rocking his first vault, the best he'd ever done it. Handspring 2.5 flips. USA's always got to miss. They need this one.
Only one shot.
2 times, baby.
That's right. That's it.
Unbelievable.
Hold on.
Only been doing this vault for a few months, and the way you want to go home, what you want to remember when you're 95 is the best 2 you ever did in your whole life happened at the Olympics.
So Steve McCain was down with the bad leg, and Paul Hamm picks up the team a little bit with a 9.725. Meanwhile, 6 apparatus, they're all in use, and you've heard in the background the cheering, the wild screaming. Well, most of that has come from the Chinese supporters. They have been rocking, especially lately on the pommel horse.
You should expect another big score from Xing Wei. He's their national champion, got the highest score for his team in day one.
Bunch of coaches watching the Chinese in training before this event began. Everybody's got their eyes on this young man. And after he does his routine, collectively, all the coaches just go, wow. Beautiful body extension. Perfect rhythm. Chinese have been at this level technically for a long time. Today they're dealing with the pressure.
And they've competed with so much emotion. The high fives, the cheering, the standing, clapping above their head, the flag waving in the stands.
Yeah, I like this guy. He's not afraid to pump the arms.
Yeah, he shows a lot of emotion.
In contrast, the United States has been very quiet, and they have every need to be. This comeback has stalled.
But Paul Hamm gave it a little bit more energy.
He can do the same.
No, oh, unbelievable. His legs, he kicks out midway through that vault. It was going to be tremendous. Sometimes you feel like you have a little bit more juice than you did the day before, and it's such a critical, exact, when do I let go of my knees?
I don't remember the last time I saw Sean fall on this event. He's been so consistent.
You see that? He kicks out of that.
Way too early.
Nobody in the world can kick out that early on a handspring 2.5 front and make it to his feet.
The good feeling the United States had lasted one performance. Sean Townsend gets a 9-2 back to Jing Wei. His score was a 9.75. So it's all good for China. Not so for the United States. They're in pain in more ways than one. And Russian contingents, Russia with a surge over Romania and the United States, buried in last place by over a point. Let's talk now for a moment, Elfie, about a team that comes to an Olympic Games where they have to win gold to be successful. And now the coaching staff, after a rough first night, sort of reassesses how they press them. And here they have all the results to say they did the right thing.
Well, I'll tell you what, they've looked unbelievably calm in this competition. No pressure on them, and they have performed brilliantly. And it's pretty safe to say that they have this one locked up. I guess China's going to win their first gold.
Meanwhile, the Russians are never satisfied when you're talking about battling for bronze or silver, but that's what it was at the halfway mark. This is a team that took a huge hit, and they're coming back.
Well, they are coming back, and they have vault that's coming up in the next rotation, and they could have one of the best, if not the best, vaulting team in the entire competition. They're also strong on parallel bars. It's not over for them. They're still in the hunt. And
again, at the bottom, the United States is in the midst of a very rough day.
Now, Al, the last time we saw Steve McCain, remember, he was in seething pain. Peter Corman didn't quite know if he was capable of going on. He said absolutely. This is an event where he has struggled in the past. There are a lot of very critical skills that come one after another. Before the meet began, this was one place Corman was really worried.
One down.
Next very tricky combination right here into another double back. Just about as perfect as McCain has ever been.
Is he thinking about his feet, Tim?
Hopefully he's not at all. Just put him down hard.
No problem.
Talk about gritting it out.
You know, it's funny, when your feet hurt, sometimes it actually helps your landing because you know it's going to hurt so much, and you tighten up and you smack that ground, which is exactly what you should do when they don't hurt. Dismount here, perfect double pike, and just grit with the pain, baby, and don't move those feet. That's one big set for Team USA.
9.7.
First one out of the box. That is gigantic score.
What a start in the 5th rotation for the United States. Now to Paul Homm.
And what they have lacked at this point is the momentum. And it is big in gymnastics, just like basketball, in so many different ways, with both the athletes and, more importantly, with the judges. You're supposed to put your bigger scoring athletes towards the end. The scores escalate if each guy does his job, like McCain did and now Homm is doing. Just the dismount coming up. If he had radar, he'd love it.
That's good stuff. For a while, momentum for the United States was one good score. Now, finally, they go back-to-back, McCain and Homm.
Good fight. Loving it.
Now, the Japanese were largely built when Tokyo got the Olympic Games back in 1964. They were built then. That's when the foundation of their legend came into being in this sport. They would love, and I mean love, to return to the medals in the Olympic Games. And right now, Mitsumi Hirata of Japan will try to help them hold on to their silver medal status.
Yeah, the Japanese were shut out of the medals in 1996. Before that, they won bronze at 3 Olympics, 84, 88, and 92.
They have shown some problems on floor as well. Very difficult tumbling run, but a couple of extra steps.
You hear that? All that noise in the background, the Chinese supporters. China just continues to try and lock this thing up.
Oh, and that is a gigantic error. USA is on a roll, and Japan right now floundering. That mistake will cost him at least 0.4 of a point. He's a little bit off on that sequence. Needed to do a double twist on his last rebound skill. Left it out.
And Tim, that one mistake, 0.4, if it's as you say, that was their lead over Ukraine.
Their gymnasts, though, once again, you cannot, no matter how great your dismount is, the judges don't allow you to bring the eraser over to them. If you stick a great landing like that, it's 0.4 off, period.
Could be costly to the Japanese team. Ukraine right on their back. Russia trying to get back in the medals. And the United States surging. Paul Hamm, 9.762. It looks as though before the 5th rotation is over, the status of everybody except for China could change here in the standings. Ooh, Harada only a 9.2 and a little bit. Blaine Wilson up next for the U.S. The United States is 0.8 and a little bit out of the medal picture.
Come on now. Get over here. Get over. Johnny. Everybody hit high ball. Come on. Hey, come on.
And this could actually happen if you take a look at the qualifying round.
Last event, we got to come through, man. We got to fight. Scratch.
Take Team USA's high bar score, take Russia's P-bar score, put them into the equation. USA finishes ahead of Russia.
Meanwhile, in the warm-up on vault, which was a nemesis for China in the opening qualifying round, Xing Wei comes limping away.
And Coach Wang Yubin said that after the first day of competition, we were really ambitious on vault. They did some pretty incredible vaults, and he said perhaps today will be a little more conservative.
Regardless of what this is all about, China's competed half the meet today with 4 guys anyways. They got 4 guys on vault that can rock the house.
They lead by 1.3. Now, the United States has very little room for drama, and we'll see how this plays out for Xing Wei in this final rotation. Paul Hamm will start things off on the high bar.
They need mostly hit routine after hit routine. They got to start in the 9.55 range, and each score has to get a little bit better. There is almost no room for error whatsoever.
Yeah, you can never see it on his face how he's feeling, but he's never experienced pressure
right
like this. Oh.
Unreal.
Well, now there is absolutely no margin for error for all the Americans who come now. All the scores have to count, plus they need help from Japan and Russia. He's done it all for this team.
He has. Paul, 17 years old, competing in his first major international event, has been the rock so far. He'll most likely repeat that element. It's called the Kovacs. And that one's no good either. You could tell his body was just going to be a little bit too far from the bar.
Well, John Roethlisberger and a Blaine Wilson were driven by what went wrong in Atlanta. You get the feeling that this young man will be driven in Athens by what went wrong in Sydney at the end.
Certainly not good for this team, but as you mentioned, 5 guys up, 4 scores count. This one is a drop for sure if they want to come even close to win a medal and overtake Russia and also Japan.
That's the Chinese party going on in the background. As one of the top 36 finishers, we will see Paul Hamm in the all-around competition as gymnastics continues at these games. Yoichi Tomita says no problem, no problem. It's no problem if the next 4 guys stick it big time. Xing Wei was, last we saw, having his calf rubbed down, and now whatever problem he's got has spread to the other leg. And Tim, you're right, this could be something as simple as a cramp, but it's a doubled up cramp.
And although this team faltered in day one, the qualifying round on vault, they have 5 guys that aren't just good, they are all-stars on vault.
So there's the number that the United States has to throw out if they have any more medal hopes. They have run out of second chances. Well, the trainers, the masseuses, they've done their job. We'll find out the result of their work as Jing Aowei steps to the vault. His mother, I'm sure, somehow, some way, is watching what happens to her son here tonight.
Amazing.
They're so good. He can do a vault that's very easy for him, a different vault than he performed the first day in competition.
He can take the bullet out of his mouth that he was biting.
As I said, new vault, Kasamatsu with a full twist, a healthy Jing Aowei. This is a walk in the park.
What parks do you walk in?
You got to remember, on vaulting, these guys, they are superhuman.
Only deduction here is that step to the side. He's going to give away a 10th.
But they've got plenty of tenths to give away before this gold medal goes anywhere. Look at that, 2 legs that had to be rubbed straight. He almost scores a 9.5. Okay, the pressure now is squarely on Stephen McCain. He came in with 2 bad wheels, one worse than the other. He re-injured one of them, or maybe both of them in the competition, fought through it, came back, and now he's on the high bar. And the United States has no more room for misses.
Absolutely none. Biggest test right here. Got the bar. A little bit close, has to amend his routine slightly, but no deduction. He has a lot of responsibility here. He's got to knock this set off. It's got to start off big. Got to kind of jump past that first athlete's starting score that they wanted
and get
start the pump going.
Yeah, back on track. Got to stick.
It's a start.
Not best case scenario for Team USA, but that is going to be a huge number.
Corman has been telling them from the start, guys, believe in yourself, believe in the team.
And fight for every landing.
And in this comeback relay, Steve McCain passes the hot baton to Blaine Wilson in a moment. Russia has been going through for the last decade its adjustment. Adjustment to a new world order, adjustment to an entirely new way of life. They've never had to deal with no medal in the Olympic Games. They've never even had to deal with a bronze. But both of those things are on the line here. And interwoven in this parallel bars routine is also the hope of the United States for a medal.
3 major misses from this team in the first day of competition. He had one of them.
And the USA needs a little bit of help at this point. If this routine comes off without a hitch, I would say their hopes are over. Couple more skills. He's a beautiful worker of this event. He lands this dismount. Good for Russia, very bad for the USA.
So now it's a battle between Russia, Japan, Ukraine for those last 2 medals. But another shake of the head. Russia cannot believe what has transpired for them as a team here tonight. It started early with the misfortunes of Alexei Bondarenko. Now Naoya Tsukahara. The legendary name needs a legendary routine. As late as the 4th rotation's conclusion, Japan was in silver medal status, but in the 5th rotation, they fell out of the medal picture.
So far, so good. hands up at that moment. Do your job. Sukahara's getting it done. They're just wishing they could get back a couple of those floor routines that didn't go so well.
Well, he sticks the landing, and we just don't know. This is going to come down to a 10th. Maybe a little bit more, one way or the other. Kryukov scored 9.637. That dooms the United States. Sukahara, 9.637. This is going down to the last Russian routine. That's what it's going to come down to. Meanwhile, for the United States, Blaine Wilson, his sister, the entire team, himself, this is going to be the taste he leaves for the all-around. This is what he's going to carry away from tonight.
Biggest release skill comes right off the bat. Here we go.
No way.
Unreal. Can't believe it happened.
What are they figuring out here, Tim?
Well,
where he picks it up?
Yeah, where he picks it up, and he has to actually do a release skill again. Coach Corman told him, your score's counting. We need you. We cannot count Paul Ham's score, so... Wow, that one was fingertips as well. If you had painted the picture for me, Al, that this is how it would come down to in the end for the USA and Blaine Wilson.
What's bothersome is that Russia and the bronze medal were there to be had. If they could somehow go back and not take that low score on the first rotation, and let's say Blaine Wilson is Blaine Wilson like he's supposed to be on the high bar, and a couple of 10s here and there, this would have been so different.
It could have happened. They just needed to be a little more perfect.
So this one ends just like it did in '96. Meanwhile, the chanting builds ever louder. The Chinese about to party like they never have after a night of men's Olympic gymnastics. 9:05, and it matters little. So how do they react? How do they celebrate? All night long, they've been acting like they've had it won, and it's really been a remarkable thing considering the pressure. Whatever the coaches said, whatever the athletes responded to what they said, however they handled the last 48 hours, it worked out beautifully for the Chinese men.
They have always been good enough to have this happen. They just didn't do it like that.
He's
when it
world
mattered.
champion.
We must win gold. We have won gold.
The game.
Where it will take you. John Roethlisberger has turned it into a lifetime, a lifestyle, and into 3 Olympics. You also never know how it's going to end, but now we and he do. This is how his Olympics and gymnastics career will end, and it's not for the team because it's over for the United States. This last high bar is for him.
And maybe it's kind of neat the team pressure isn't there. Maybe he could reminisce. He could really feel the moment a little bit closer. One last move in a veteran's career.
That's for Kelly, his wife. Mom, too.
Last time you'll see me up here.
Well, now we know he was thinking it the entire time.
It's hard to imagine USA Gymnastics without John Roethlisberger.
USA.
Maybe he'll just wear it in a different capacity sometime in the future.
Very special athlete and a very classy athlete, I have to say.
Medals are great, but pride and respect is something you have to earn, and that's even harder than a medal. And you have a tremendous amount of respect from the world, from myself, from your country, and don't forget that. Because that is more valuable than anything hanging around your neck, all right? Don't ever forget that, especially you young guys, all right? Great guys. Yeah, proud of you guys. Carry on.
He's passing the torch of his pride to Morgan and Paul Hamm, to Sean Townsend. For another Olympics at another time. Now unfinished business, and it's big business. It's a silver and a bronze, and it's Ukraine, and it's Russia, and it's Japan. 3 into 2 doesn't go.
Ukraine was weak on this event at last year's World Championships. They went home, worked harder than they ever had before. Igor Korobchinsky, the coach, said, we're not afraid of this one this time.
Roman Zazulia.
Strength is where they struggled before on the very difficult elements like that. Much more level, more stable.
We so often say tenths. How about hundreds? How about thousands?
9-3-5 is the score they're going to try to throw out, and with this, they will.
This is a huge moment, not only in this building, but in the entire country. To beat Russia would be a huge, huge Ukrainian statement. Now, in the final few rotations, we've watched China try and save the leg of Zhao Yongfeng. He barely touched in one apparatus, didn't even go on floor exercise, and here it is. It is now a done deal. All he basically had to do was get over the vault. China, for the first time ever, wins the men's team gold medal. Now, they've got to be careful with this celebration because this competition is not over. It is in the very capable hands of Alexei Nemov. He needs a 9.614 to grab the bronze away from the Japanese. Now, normally the Russians come for gold. That was the mission here. Then, when that goes away, you focus on silver. Now, it's a salvage operation. Just go home with some piece of metal.
It would be unthinkable for the Russians to go home with no medal at all. And from everything we've learned about Nemov at this competition, there's nobody you'd rather need in this position more than him.
And they need him.
So far, so good. Definitely in the game. Lands this. And I think they get it.
Look at that face. What a cool dude. He thinks he's got this nailed down, doesn't he?
Yeah, there was way too much pride. There was no way he was going to let that happen.
And if it's good enough for bronze, it's one he almost did all by himself. 9.614. It's up to the computer now. The judges punch in their numbers.
Did you see him exhale?
Bondarenko, yeah. Well, there's no doubt who the star of this Russian team is. All eyes go on the scoreboard. Although that reaction sort of tells you how the Japanese team feels.
I think it's going to be enough and then some. I can't imagine how he's not going to get at least a 9-7 for that routine. But you never know in gymnastics.
He got it. 9-7-7-5. And he gets it with plenty to spare. So it's China, Ukraine, and the lowest they've ever finished in the Olympics, Russian for bronze. Leonid Arkayev is what? Is he campaigning for an extra something?
Yeah, he has been fuming throughout the competition. Some of the start values he did not agree with.
But he knows who took him to this 87th Olympic medal. Alexei Nemov. On his back went Russia. And it's often said the most painful place to finish is fourth.
USA was in the hunt for a while. It actually could have happened. They just needed to be more perfect. Too many mistakes tonight.
John Roethlisberger ends it here. One last look at the podium. One last feeling of the noise. So proudly they unfurl the flag. In a lopsided way, the Chinese men take the team gold. It's not a question of whether they will be on the front page in Beijing. It's how big will the picture be. Ukraine takes the silver, and Russia just edges out Japan for the bronze. The United States finishes fifth. Chen Yang is our interpreter.
Your mom can finally open her present from 1998. Could you tell me what it is? It's a rose, and I just want to say to her, Mom, we didn't disappoint our country and our people. We're finally Olympic champions.
Right now, Xing Aowei's mom is probably already at the nightstand opening the gift. For the United States, a fifth-place finish. For John Roethlisberger, a goodbye. For Peter Corman, their coach, a postscript. Let's go down on the floor with Beth Ruyak.
You looked into their eyes, and you all have this silent language amongst you. So how were they at the end of the meet?
Well, they're disappointed, of course, as we all are. But, you know, I'm not disappointed in them. I'm disappointed that we didn't get to where we could have gotten, but it's not their fault. It clearly is not. They did everything we asked them to do. And sometimes you get everything you want, and sometimes you're a little short. But it's part of growing up. I think a lot of these guys will be Olympic medalists, but they're going to have to wait 4 more years.
Aside from the second guessing at this point, how about leading this team, this group of guys to this moment?
I've never been prouder in my life because of the type of guys they are. They really, against all odds, they always they even surprise me. And, you know, it's been a pleasure to be around them.
Coming up, the first men's Chinese gymnastics team to hear the anthem, and then we'll summarize a night that ends with fabulous sportsmanship from Alexei Nemov.